Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with episode 26 of Chart Watch, New Release News and Music Biz Chat. And as we do every week, we're going to start off with a look at the number one album in the UK album charts. And this week it is Pink and the album Trustfall, which has gone straight in at number one with 37,570 sales. Physical sales of that total are 24,800 and downloads was 7,126, streams was 5,643. So I'm going to break that down because I know, as I am multi-format man, I'd like to know what the breakdown is between CD and vinyl sales, and is vinyl still leading the way with every album that gets number one, as Music Week suggested a few weeks ago? Well, as you know, the last few weeks it has definitely been CD that have been leading the way. So what has happened with this new album from Pink? Well, first of all, 37,570 sales is the highest weekly sale for any album for over 16 weeks. So out of that 24,800, the breakdown is as follows. 21,168 were CDs. 3,300 were vinyl albums. So CDs are way ahead there with 21,168 and vinyls are some way behind with 3,300. But there were also 332 cassettes as well. But nevertheless, well done to Pink and for Trustfall getting straight in at number one. And so nice, healthy sales, but great for the CD to be pushing it up the way, because without the CD, that album would not have made it to number one. The other new releases are by Inhaler, who got in straight at number two. They're an Irish indie rock quartet, and this is fantastic news for them, straight in at number two. But the album that I really want to mention has gone straight in at number 3 this week, which is by Those Damn Crows. This is on the Earache record label, and the album is called Inhale and Exhale, and it's done really, really well. I've been playing this album all over the weekend, and I've just ordered a CD copy I'm going to review on the channel, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant rock album, it really is, and it's great to see, and yet again another week with a great rock album in the charts. Now this has sold 10,071 copies, which probably no more than a few weeks ago could have even landed it at a number one spot. Now this is their third album. They formed in Bridgend in Wales in 2014, and they built up their popularity steadily. Their 2016 debut album Murder and the Motive peaked at number 152, and then 2 years later their next album Point of No Return hit number 14. So to go straight in now at number 3, you know, the band are doing really, really well. And as I say, it's a great album, it really is. The only other new entry in the top UK album charts this week is by Orbital at number 6 with 6,000 sales. But anyway, Those Damn Crows, straight at number 3. Fantastic album, really is. Now, it's done better in different places as well. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Indie Albums Top 30. This is the UK's biggest independently released albums of the week, based on sales of downloads, CDs, vinyl and other physical formats, it says here, which must mean cassettes. And at number 1 is Those Damn Crows, straight in at number 1. Fantastic. Motley Crue's the studio albums 1981 to 89 is at number 6. Genesis Watch of the Skies 1972 from the Audio Vaults label is at number 9, Motorhead at number 18 and Black Star Riders at number 30. And the official record store top 20, which is basically based on CDs and vinyl and cassette sold through independent record shops, in fact the top 100 UK independent record shops, Inhaler is number 1 and Those Damn Crows are at number 3. But as I've said, Those Damn Crows is a great rock album, and if I hadn't been doing this, I wouldn't have even spotted it probably on my radar. But it's absolutely fantastic, so well done to them. So I'm going to go straight over now to new release news. So I'm just going to bring this up on the screen so you can actually see it. And what I want to show you is Whitesnake, Still Good to Be Bad, 4 CD and 1 Blu-ray disc set on Rhino Records. I remember this in 2008. I always thought it was a very, very brutal rock album, just when lots of people from David's peer group were starting to go down the gears and think about what they might want to do in their kind of later years. Mr. Coverdale was going in the opposite direction and turning everything up to 11. And this, I always thought, was a stupendous rock album. I really, really did. And this follows the same format as Mr. Coverdale's previous Super Deluxe editions, so they'll all fit on the shelf rather nicely. And you have the first CD is a 2023 remix. That'll be interesting. And the remaster is on disc 2. It was a great sounding album anyway, so I wonder if they've just gone in and gone. Because it sounded great. Then you've got CD 3 and 4 is where the meat and spuds are, with the alternative remixes, different versions, the evolution of the tracks as they came together. And then the Blu-ray is just full of promo videos, interviews, concert footage. So absolutely fantastic. And the other album that is on my radar from this is Detective. Now, hopefully, those of you who subscribe and watch everything and listen to everything that happens here will have already watched the Michael DeBar podcast, which I did just a few weeks ago. But if you haven't, please watch it. Detective is one of Michael's best albums, really, really is. And this has been remastered from original tapes. I think Michael had something to do with that, handing over tapes or finding them. New packaging, updated back cover, and inner liner notes from Larry Jaffe. So that looks absolutely fantastic as well. In new release news, the only things I'm looking at here are Extreme have got a new album out called 6. And also the LA Guns, Black Diamonds. And we've also got Jethro Tull, of course, inbound with Rock Flot. So I'll be reviewing that as well. Now, before I move on, I just want to come across to a record label called Craft Recordings, who are here. Now, the reason I just wanted to feature this is when I did last week's Chart Watch and I looked at Record Store Day and I went through the list, there was quite a lot of jazz and blues stuff. And I know Laura, one of my patrons, was saying she's really looking forward to some of the jazz reissues. They look really good. And that brought my attention to this label called Craft Recordings, which I'm hoping to feature some of their releases on this channel, because I think that they've got the right balance right. I mean, in the UK, we've got Cooking Vinyl, who do fantastic vinyl releases, proper music, Esoteric and Cherry Red with the CD box sets. And this is another label who I think understand where everything is going now, or what fans want. We want that little bit more. And if you just quickly look through some of these, I mean, there are CDs as well. Let's just get rid of that pop-up. You've got like CD release down here of Jazz Impressions by Black Orpheus, 2 CD, Luxury Edition, great booklet, 2 discs. Then you've got vinyl releases, you've got vinyl bundles with Stax t-shirt, Albert Kingborn and a Bad Sign. We've got box sets with t-shirts. We've got, if I go to view all, you might bring up another pop-up, but you've got, as I scroll down, you've got like tote bags, you've got slip cases for the vinyl, t-shirts. Now, some of you, I don't want any of that, but you can buy the single versions. But this idea of being multiple bundles, I think a lot of people are interested in this. And behind me, you can see a Cats in Space album. And on the Now Spinning Facebook group, someone posted their Cats in Space collection, and there were singles, signed singles, there were beanie hats, there were posters, there were all sorts of things. And I think a lot of fans just want that connection of being closer to the band. And if labels think of fan first, I think it makes a massive difference. So that's Craft Recordings. They've got some great releases coming up, and I think this is fantastic. I mean, also kind of building on the conversation I had with Karen Emanuel from Key Production in the podcast recently, where she talked about, you know, how excited she was with the way things are going with vinyl pressings and increasing CD production. You know, physical music is doing well. It's always going to be niche. Someone said to me last week, it's the first time I've had any negativity really towards the Chart Watch show, and saying, why do I bother with this when no one buys physical media anymore, and even if they do, within a couple of years it'll be all gone. That's so not true. But the reason I do these videos is because I absolutely love doing them. I absolutely love talking to other music fans who love buying music. I'm just as excited now. I have the same sense of wonder when I buy a new CD or vinyl record as I had when I bought Back Off Boogaloo by Ringo Starr in 1972, which is the first single I ever got. You know, I still have that excitement when I see things coming out on the release schedules, and I still have that. And I know that there are so many people, you know, around the world in different countries who are connected. You know, the speed of which now Spinning Magazine is growing and the amount of connections we're making is that so many people think the same. Yeah, it's niche, but I'm so excited about it. There's so much stuff available. I can hear it. I can see it. I can see people. My recent looking back at my Deep Purple VHS tape, you know, seeing a band move without going to see them live was such a novelty. But now, of course, you can do that whenever you like. You know, so bands can release, you know, videos and stuff before it even comes out. But a bit like the Etsy website, where you want handcrafted stuff to give to someone special, or you want something that's unique. That's in one ways where music, physical music, is heading in some ways. People want that connection. You know, sending off for the signed copy of the vinyl album, and maybe for some people it is almost like deluxe merch. You know, I'll stream, but I've got this physical item that the band have signed and sent me. You know, that to me is where we're heading, and it's worth a chunk of money to the record companies, and it's good to see that, you know, there is more love and affection now for all formats. I'm feeling myself that I don't need to kind of keep pushing the CD to the front now. I think now that after talking to Karen and seeing the way that Cherry Red and Esoteric have got, you know, they completely, you know, contained what they do. They're excellent CD box sets, and other labels like Cooking Vinyl doing the vinyl stuff and proper music. It's the right balance. And a lot of these people now are thinking fan first, and a lot of the bands are, and it's a great time, I think, to be into music. And it just fills my heart with joy when I go into a local record shop, and actually, you know, I'm probably the oldest person in there, you know, by decades. You know, there's people, you know, looking at music, etc., and buying it, and you know, I think it's really, really good. And so I don't think this is going to disappear at all. And I think many people said after seeing the podcast with Karen Emanuel that they all feel confident now that physical music is here to stay. It's not going to be like it was because the world has changed, but it's always going to be there. And there's some great stuff coming up. And I think what I really like is the fact that I can listen to legacy stuff, catalogue stuff, as it was, you know, more recently called, you know, but now I can look at Those Damn Crows, which is a brand new album to me, even though it's their third album. It's the first one that's made, you know, straight at number 3 in the UK album charts. Give that a listen. I've recently had Massive Wagons, haven't we? And there's a lot of great music out at the moment. Before I go, I just need to update you on how things are going with the Now Spinning Magazine podcast, because I've got quite a few guests coming up. So I thought this would be a good place to tell you who is coming up soon. I've got Rob Weir from the Tigers of Pantang, Russell Gilbert from Uriah Heep, Sid Griffin from the Long Riders. I've got Doogie White, ex-singer of Rainbow, now with Alcatraz, Mary Farrell interview, Bernie Marsden, and Glenn Hughes talking about his approach to the Burn 50th anniversary tour as well. So there's a hell of a lot going on. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spinning those records. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Stay safe, and I shall see you very, very soon.